All right, guys. Now, Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. This is not the first incident that it has hit the news. Um, as the first was the Opal Tower, now this time is the Mascot Tower. You see, this sort of stuff happens, and to me, to look at this, it's not just one or two apartments. It's more than that. Majority of the newly built apartments in only speak in behalf on Sydney. I can't speak on Melbourne. It's been dodgy. It's been built. Now, whether it has been built, whether you're gonna blame, the huge crack. It can be multiple reasons. It can be not using. I don't know. Maybe they're not using the right steel mesh or the steel size or the concrete. Something is going wrong, or maybe not digging the foundation too deeply in depth, because this is really terrible, right? Now, I'm aware of most of these job sites, from the outlook, they look bloody beautiful, but inside they look horrible. And I know most of, they always use simple, gyprocs and things like that, but it's done in a very fast pace where the structures and things like that has been done in a very rapid fast pace, where build or contractors have to mass hire or hire or steal workers from other companies to order to meet the deadline, regardless if they're legal workers or not. Illegal's been cracked down a lot, but the work, and for example, the cladding boards, or perhaps using the foam bloody materials. They are absolutely gutter rubbish materials. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend have that as my as my exterior. But apparently, it's a trend. It's cheap. Nobody wants to use concrete slabs or bricks nowadays, because having cladding board looks more modern. You got that for fire hazard, where they say that it's fire. Like most of these jobs, and my father says 65% or majority of the apartments are dodgy anyway. Well, in sort of, some sort of way it is, but there's so much going on with these jobs, and I personally think this is a ghost town where you see in China, but it's a ghost town, cost efficient, cheap way of building, and has been introduced now with the recent decades in Australia. That sort of mentality. Now, Mascot, you see, Mascot has been heavily developed. Same as, what's that place? Waterloo, a suburb behind. Those area. What was the other suburb? Jeez, it was skyrocketed. Now I have to Google it. Hold on. It was absolutely rubbish. Like, they build like apartments like no tomorrow. And I know a lot of Chinese business has built in around those areas. And the media has quietly sensitized. And I don't think Mascot is one of them, but you know, um, you know, these sort of suburbs are, they're not cheap. They're usually like, they're a very noisy area. And I know the fact that that sort of area is, gosh, I don't, it's you often hear planes. That's the area zone. It used to be like industrial area, and now it's been commercialized, being apartments. Sorry, I've just Google map. Gotta find out that bloody place. that called? Okay, I'll definitely do the suburb. Just since I've been living in Melbourne for okay, what's that place called? No, it's not Murray Creek, not Temple. There was a station, Woolai Creek. Oh my god, man. This place, Woolai Creek as well. Everyone is skyrocketing in this area as well. These are the areas that, is right next to this mascot, and it's just such a, because these areas are like mass produced. It, it's been skyrocketed straight away. Nobody back there wants to live that much in Mascot, but if the housing booming, everyone wants to move there. But damn, man, losing $749 worth and now it's down the drain is a huge oversupply. But what I can tell you is this modern way of Chinese ghost town building method has introduced. Whether you blame the investors, whether you blame the builders or the owners, there's a lot to be blamed. I'll love to point fingers at one of them, but these materials being built so common, and I like the old apartments when it has been mass produced, where it's a double brick walls instead of this bloody single bricks and having gyprock, you know, uh, dwelling. I didn't like it. Like you spend that much money on a hollow wall, pretty much like this, pretty much. So yeah, um, I felt sorry for those who actually get into that sort of housing because they were fast built, man. They had a deadline. Everyone's just wanting to build fast and sell it straight away. They don't care. They just want profit and just chuck a runner. It's gonna be hard in Sydney. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a lot more than this.